All right, so since I did so poorly last week against the spread, my worst week, I was thinking about doing this for our audience, our small audience that watches, but I wasn't sure how it would come across. You tell me how it looks. It being Halloween and all, I thought
I think you should have put the holes in the target sign. That would have been funny.
yeah, since I did so poorly, I was like, maybe I should pair a bag over my hip. I don't have a paper bag, but I was like, this might come off wrong over the internet. So I was like, maybe I should pass on this.
You need to do a PSA to tell kids not to put plastic bags over their heads.
yeah. Oh man. All right, we'll pass on that. We'll just let's just get on with week 8. All right, guys, we are back. Mark and Adam from the Sports Corner to give you our week 8 predictions. It is a terrible week for me. Terrible week for me. My worst week against the spread. My best bets went 2-1, so that's something I could cherish, something I could be proud of. But against the spread, the whole week, I did not do too well. But Adam, he did his best week ever. The best week, I think, for both of us. For the whole season. So you had a great week. You went 3-0 against your best bets went 3-0. How do you feel, man? Give us a speech here a little bit.
I mean, sometimes you just got to pick the scratch games. I think that just kind of fell in my favor last week, but yeah, I'm glad it went so well. I was teetering on the edge of, dipping below 500, so I'm glad I powered back strong.
Yeah, you look good, man. I don't know, some games that look back, like, why did I choose Miami? Why did I choose to beat the Browns? Why did I choose some of these teams? I'm just head scratching. I'm just like, what is it? So this week, I'm promised to you guys, I'm going to change it. I feel really strong about my best bets and all my picks today. So let's get after it. Like and subscribe. It goes a long way for this small channel. Like I said, we love doing this. We're not just pulling our predictions out of a hat. We do research. We have 9 to 5s, all that jazz. But like and subscribe, it goes a long way. Let's start with our first game of the week. This one, I believe, this might be the first game, I think, in a long time that's not in overseas. So nobody has to wake up real early in the morning to watch that game. Disappointment for Adam, since he likes to wake up at 4 in the morning. But that's neither here or there. We have the Jets versus the Bengals, with the Bengals being favored by 6.5 points and the over-under being 44.5. What can we say about the Jets? The Jets are a dumpster fire. Like, what hasn't said about the Jets that hasn't said about any disaster in the world, okay? They are just going downhill. They're crappy. There's nothing, like, even the owner is throwing the starting quarterback, Justin Fields, under the bus, whatever his name, Woody something, his old boomer self. He's out there throwing his quarterback under the bus, which he shouldn't have done. So this team just looks a disarray. I doubt they start Fields in this game since because of what he said. So it's probably going to be Tyrod Taylor, which, I probably, from a passing standpoint, that's probably good. So there's that. Breece Hall, he's on the trading block. It's his final year of his contract. I know he said he doesn't want to leave the Jets. I think he has to say that. I think they'll trade him and get him out of there and get what you can for him. The defense is pretty much all they have. They still have only one turnover, though. Like, they only have one, I think, interception. And no, I think they have one forced fumble and one fumble recovery and no interceptions. And they only have 10 sacks. So they're barely averaging a sack a game. They're I don't know, they're not even getting a turnover a game. So their defense is nothing they can hold their hat on. We know about this. We talk about this. I guess one positive you could pull from the Jets is that 5 of their losses have only been decided by a touchdown or less. So they are staying in games. So that's not terrible. They're 3-4 against the spread, so it's not the worst number. And also, the Jets defense has held opponents to just 52% touchdown red zone conversions, which is 8th in the league. So they are holding teams, they're holding them strong in the red zone. Adam, anything you got for the Jets here, man?
No, that offense is going to be really bad. Tyrod Taylor does come in sometimes and play well, but man, they're really crumbling. Their defense is okay. Quentin Williams played well, but yeah, I don't know. They might try and fight back. They're not going to go defeated, I don't think. So they'll pull out a lucky win at some point here, but I don't know. They're in dire straits.
Right. I'll be honest, yeah, I would fire Glenn either. I thought it was a bad hire. I've been saying since week one, before week one, I said that he's not a good hire. You should hire offensive coordinators to be your coaches so they could run the offense. Back to back defensive coordinators. Now they hired two defensive coordinators as head coaches. The guy who now is with the 49ers, and look what happened. Both coaches are doing terrible. So the Jets are a mess. Let's talk about the Bengals. Old man Flacco defeated old man Rodgers. I knew it. I told you guys. I told Adam as well. Even after the fact when we did our picks, I said I have a feeling the Bengals are going to cover this game, and they did. I still chose the Steelers. I do not know why, but old man Flacco's he's looking good. Him and Jamar Chase are look like not like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, but it's looking good. They have a good connection. Since Flacco has been the quarterback for the Bengals, Jamar Chase has 26 receptions and 250 yards and 2 touchdowns in 2 of those games since Flacco's been the starting quarterback. So he is feeding the monster that is Jamar Chase, as he should, the best wide receiver in the league. So good for them. And also surprisingly, very surprised for me, Chase Brown ran over 100 yards last game. I know, be it was Bengals weren't playing. I mean, Steelers defense is better than like the crappiest team, but their defense is struggling a bit. But still, you want to see Chase Brown do well. But maybe that's the things. That's the signs for things to come, because Joe Flacco could possibly, he's opening it up for the rest of the offense, and Chase Brown and the other backup, Sam Perrine, they can start running the ball, and this running game could be better. But unlike the Jets, though, the Bengals defense is terrible. Like it's still god awful. I believe Trey Henderson was limited participant on Wednesday. They're their only defender that's worth a damn. So keep an eye on that. Always keep an eye on the injury reports. Their defense is allowing 30.6 points a game. That's god awful. And they're 29th in yards per play, allowing the 29th ranked yards per play on defense. So I don't know, dude. Flacco looked good, man. Yeah, what'd you think about him? You think he's gonna give this a resurgence before Joe Burrow comes back?
I do. Yeah, he looks accurate. The offense is moving. I don't know that he's ever had a wide receiver as good as Chase. I don't think he has. And not to mention Higgins as a number 2. I think you nailed it, that the running game is opening up. They're a team that has to start by throwing to get the run game going, the opposite of most teams. But they're putting up points, and Flacco looks good.
Yeah, he does. And you're right. This might have been his whole career, the best wide receiver group, especially one wide receiver that he's had his whole career. I don't think he even had this in his prime Baltimore years with that. So good point there. Well, with this one, man, who do you got? I think this comes down to this. It comes down to you. It's one terrible defense in the Bengals against one terrible offense in the Jets. And it's who's going to break first, the terrible offense or the terrible defense? Who do you think and who do you got?
What's the spread again?
It is, let me double check. It is 6.5 in favor of Cincinnati.
So I see it opened at 4.5, so it's moved. I think I have to go with the public on this one. I think the Bengals offense is good enough to overcome the Jets defense, and I don't know that the Jets offense can really overcome anybody right now. I think it does feel like a little bit of a trap game to me, because I do think the Jets could fight back with a good defensive performance, but the Bengals offense is good enough for me right now to cover the 6.5.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like my heart leans towards the Jets. Like, they're 3-4 against the spread, so it's not like they're doing terrible. But I'm not gonna go over the injury list like up for every team. But Sauce Gardner is he did practice, but he had a concussion. Garrett Wilson, he was spotted on the field. He was spotted on the field at Thursday practice. Doesn't mean he did actually practice. Their young rookie tight end, he didn't practice today on Thursday. And also Taylor is coming in hurt, and Breece Hall is coming in hurt, both with knee injuries. So it's hard to get there with me. My heart wants to take the Jets plus the 6.5 points. I think they could fight it out there, but I think Flacco is kind of like Jackson Dart, he's added a spark to this team, and they could put up a lot of points. So I'm just going to take the better quarterback and the better weapons and hope and think that they could win. I think this is going to be like, I don't know, 21-14 kind of game. So give us both the Bengals to cover the 6.5 points. And now, sticking in the Bengals division, we have the Bears versus the Ravens, which should be a really good matchup. Baltimore being favored by 6.5 points and the over/under being 48.5. Surprised by that number, by the way. The Baltimore Ravens being favored by that much. But let's talk about the Bears. They're coming off a win and a cover against the Saints. I was on the wrong side of that one. I had the Saints. They're on a 4-game winning streak. And during that winning streak, their defense is forcing 2.7 turnovers a game. And they are leading the whole league with turnovers. They have 16. So they're getting after the ball. They're being very risk oriented, if you will. So, but hey, it's been working well from this 4-game winning streak. And the offense have scored 25 points in the 5 of the last 6 games. So the offense is pitting up points, and they are helping their defense out. Well, when the defense gives them when the defense gets the turnover, they're pitting it to use and scoring points. Also, Caleb Williams, he's been great against the blitz. Surprisingly, well, maybe you shouldn't be surprised because they finally got him on the offensive line for once, and because he's only been sacked 11 times, and that's pretty good. Because if you compare that to last year, Adam. At this time last year, he was sacked 20 times, and now it's about a 10 sack difference. He's only been sacked 11 now, but it was 20 times last year. So there's a big differential right there, and I'm sure his body is feeling much better. And they have 4 wins right now, and last year I think they had 5, right? 5 or they had so they're almost there already.
Something like that.
Yeah, they're almost there already. And don't forget, people, watch my YouTube short. I told you guys to take the over the Bears wins before the season started. The defense looks good. The running back room looks good. The rookie running back, they're using him a lot more. I can't pronounce his name for the life of me. And Swift, those guys look like they could be a two-headed monster. But, the Bears, they have covered the spread in 4 of the last 5 games against teams with a worse record than them. So that's good. And they're just 4-2 against the spread in general. So the Bears, they're rolling right now. And I don't know, man, do you buying them? Do you feel like they could actually make some noise? I know they beat the Saints, Raiders, and the Cowboys in that 4-game winning streak. Not the best world beaters, but some solid wins in there.
Yeah. Their defense has played well. And their run game. So those really popped off last week. The thing that I don't like is Williams. He had a bad game. I think I know he's holding the ball longer than any quarterback in the league right now. And he had no touchdowns, 1 interception. He's only 15 for 26 last week for 172 yards. I think he's always just trying to do the circus plays and the scrambles, and it just doesn't play in the offense. I mean, he has had good games, but he disappointed this week. But the rest of the team looked good, so he's just kind of a hard quarterback to bet on, in my opinion. You don't know when he's going to show up and when he isn't, because he has the arm talent, he can make the plays, but there are times when he just can't get it done. And it was only the Saints, so luckily they were able to run over them. But there's still some warning signs there with Caleb. I think, they still got the win.
I think there's warning signs of the Bears in general. Don't forget they only beat the Raiders and the Commanders by like 1 point each, and they needed Jaden Daniels to do a fumble on the rain right there to win the game. And so they're so wishy-washy with me. Like they got their doors blown off, 50 points dropped on by the Lions, and they just come back and win. Then they win like 3-4 in a row after that loss, and and they're not world beaters, the teams they beat, but they beat them in general. But so let's talk about the Ravens, a team that also is in disarray, but they're coming off a bye, which they desperately needed, obviously. They're beat up everywhere. I mean, like they're one of the there's a few Actually, there's a lot of injuries throughout the whole NFL, more than I can remember. But they're one of the teams that are like severely beat up. Lamar Jackson is starting this game, so he is back. I know he's been limited in practice, but from what I'm reading everywhere, he is going to play. So they definitely need him. With Cooper Rush and the other guy Huntley, I think they scored a combined 13 points. Both those quarterbacks, they garbage. I don't know how Cooper Rush does not like the system that he's in. So they needed Lamar Jackson back in a hurry. Um, like I said, the question for them is the injuries on their defense. Are they going to? Well, the question is the injuries, but also if these guys even come back for the healthy to the defense, is that going to make a big difference? Because they still were terrible, like on defense before the injuries, and now after this. Go look at it, people. They're allowing, I think, almost the most points allowed in NFL so far. They're letting teams just scoring them at will. So I know they might get Humphrey back. A lot of their secondary guys. I think Patrick Queen is going to be playing this game as well. I think Rashad Smith, the other linebacker. I hope I said that right. Rockwell, right? You know what I mean. He's going to be. I think he's playing this game as well. So they're getting some guys back. Smith. Murphy, the safety. So they are getting guys back, but will it make a difference? Because they did not look too hot when they were there. The Ravens have an average of negative 0.91 EPA per play and on play action passes, which is dead last in the NFL. So that means the play action, which really I think Lamar Jackson thrived on it last year with Derrick Henry, it's a negative, and it's the worst in the NFL right now. So that's not working well for them. The Ravens also have averaged 7.3 yards per play on the road since 2024, and that's the best in the NFL. So that's pretty good. That means they're still putting up yards, but as I said before, is their defense need to stop them, because their offense is doing all the work, and their defense is letting teams just score at them at will. And the Ravens have allowed 3.5 touchdowns per game in the red zone, and that is worse in the NFL. So, man, this is a big number for a team like the Bears that are on a 4-game winning streak, and for a Ravens team that is coming off a bye, but also one of the worst defense, if not the worst defense in the NFL. But I don't know. Do you think that's because, what do you think about the Ravens and their situation? And also, do you think this number is hyped up because Lamar Jackson is coming back?
The number is hyped, but it kind of has to be. Like, they're 1-5. They are like an animal cornered in the room right now. Like, I don't know that they could be more dangerous than this week. It's kind of they have to see if they can make a push or not. If they lose this game, it's over. They're 1-6. So with Lamar back and the fact that their literal season is on the line, I if they don't come out hyped, like I said, it's over. So I do think with Lamar back, they're going to put up some points. But, man, that defense is still rough. And with the Bears getting their run game going, I do think that's going to be a hard thing for them to stop.
Hey, what a good thing on the Packers letting go Jair Alexander, right?
Yeah, has he even played? No, I think he was healthy scratch.
They have him on the depth chart as the backup outside corner.
Yeah,
and
great move.
But I haven't heard nothing from him. And all I hear is negative, terrible things about their defense. So if he was making any noise, they would have helping out this defense. You'd heard something.
I don't even know if he's played yet. Oh, he has 5 tackles. So he's played a couple games. But yeah, they're gonna.
What
come
do you
out
think?
strong.
I'll let you go. You want me to go?
Yeah, I can't. I hate picking the Bears. You go first.
Yeah. This is tough, and it really is. You also have to remind yourself, is Derrick Henry going to get back on the same stage? Because you know what? He was healthy all those 4 or 5 games, and Derrick Henry was terrible in the games he was playing against. Besides the first game of the season against the Rams, where he ran over 122 yards, he then ran for 33 yards, 42 yards, 50 yards, and 23 yards. That is pretty all good.
Load the box. I mean, what else do they have on offense?
Right, but the Houston and Chiefs game, Lamar Jackson was playing those 2 games, so they were just stopping him. This is tough. I think it's too many points. I think it's many points to a team like the Bears who are film. I know it's tough. Like this is a tough game, but like the Bears, the Ravens have having a hard time getting after the quarterback, sacking the quarterback, and this offensive line for the Bears is holding up better than usual. So because they only have 8 sacks for the season, the Ravens team. So if you're gonna give a guy enough time, he's already good at the blitz. I already told you that. I think the Ravens could probably still win this because, like you said, they are a rabid dog trying to win. So I'm gonna take the plus of 6.5 points. The Bears defense is looking a little bit better. Their game, but increments over here. I don't know. It's going to be outside. I know it's away, and the Bears haven't fared the best away from the Chicago. But I think it's too much points, and you're asking for a defense that just beat up, and they have weapons. The Bears have weapons, and their running game is rolling. So I went a little bit of rant there, but I'm taking the Bears plus the 6.5. When I personally bet, I'm going to look for the best number, 7 points, but 6.5, I'll take it for this.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Bears have a good enough defense, and their offense is good enough to where they're not going to get blown out in this game, even if the Ravens come out hot. I do think the Ravens will win, but I think the Bears keep it close enough in like a 3-point game or something. So I'll take the Bears too.
Yeah, it's just too big of a number. I mean, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if the public is still on it too much, but I have to see how later. Well, but I thought it was just too a big number.
There's a lot of big spreads. There's a ton of 7+ point spreads this week.
Yeah. Well, talking about a big spread, good segue there. Let's talk about the disoriented, awful. A team that should be selling their players now. Like they should be selling all their players and have regular replacement players are like the popboard vendor and waterboard playing for them. We have the Dolphins versus the Falcons. Falcons being favored by 7.5 and the over under 44.5. Miami's coming off an embarrassment loss to the Browns. I feel like such an idiot, Adam, choosing the Browns. I'm telling you, after the first half, I was like, I need to go to the insane asylum for picking the Dolphins because I thought Tua, calling players out would lit a fire. Also, they have A-Chain. It was very bad conditions in that game. He didn't do nothing. It's like, A-Chain's the only person who did it. He hit like over 80 yards rushing, but Tua, 3 interceptions. He looked awful. It's like, and Darren Warren was out the game too, but I thought they would have kept it with the points. It was unbelievable. That's why I have this bag to put over my head for choosing the Miami Dolphins. Sorry, I'm ranting there. I was so dumb. Tua, talking about Tua, he ran his mouth. He ended up throwing 3 interceptions, and he had 3 fumbles in that game as well. He lost 2 of them, but he had 3 fumbles and 3 interceptions in that game. So the guy calls out his other players, and he doesn't show up to the game. Unreal. Also, when Tua's pressured, he's only averaging 2.6 yards per attempt, worse in the NFL. So if you get in this guy's face or you rumble the offensive line, he is like just he's just throwing onto the floor or just throwing, I don't know, quick outs to his running back, whatever. So 2.6 yards is embarrassing. But he's also good against the blitz. Go figure that. He's good against the blitz when they bring extra players. But if it's like a front 4 or like a front 5, and they get pressure, it's 2.6 yards per attempt. So go figure that. But that's like the offense he kind of uses in Miami. He sees a blitz, throw it to your quick outs. That's what their offense is made for: speed and slants and stunts and stuff like that. So their defense is garbage as well. They have these names that they're nothing, and I suspect that they should be. I'll be trading these guys soon. The Eagles need some pass rushers. I'd be like, what do you want? A 6-rounder pick for him? Okay, go here. Have Phillips, have Chubb. Go, please take them. Like we need. They need a complete rebuild. They're 0-4 against. They're on the road. They're 3-4 against the spread in general, which is not terrible. They're 1-3 against the spread on the road, which they are going to Atlanta. The rush defense is in the bottom of the league, so they can't stop the rush, which is not a good sign because they're playing against a team that rushes the ball 24/7. And also, like I said, Tua had a bad game. Not just this week, the week that passed, but 2 weeks ago, he had 3 interceptions as well. And he leads the league in interceptions. So he's, I think, 11 touchdowns and 10 picks. The guy's garbage. The team's garbage. The whole organization is garbage. Adam, man, you got anything to add with this garbage organization?
No, Tua's done. I don't know if he's going to start this week, if they've talked about that, but McDaniels pulled him. I mean, it's over. So I don't see them turning anything around. Like you said, it's going to be a fire sale here shortly before the trade deadline, if they have any sense. And
yeah, why not see what that backup quarterback has?
Yeah, start practicing for next year.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go with the Falcons now. Another quarterback who's inconsistent, Michael Penix. They're coming off a loss to 49ers. Me and Adam were on the wrong end of that one. You thought they put a better fight because Greenlaw, they're the 49ers linebacker, the heart and soul of the defense, is out for the year. You thought that the Falcons would put up a better fight, but they didn't. They lost by more than 10 points, I believe, and they didn't even get close to covering. But like I said, keep an eye on the injury report for all the games, but more particular, this one, Michael Penix is on the injury report with a knee problem. So do keep an eye on it. They said he is going to play, but that's something to watch out for because maybe that's something that's bothering him. They do have Kirk Cousins as a backup, so it's a pretty good backup. But like I said, Michael Penix is inconsistent. A 61% completion rate, which you want that to be more around 65, and he only has 5 passing touchdowns and 3 interceptions. That's not really a good marker to have. Now, I know the Falcons are a running team, which they should keep on doing, but, you like to see a little bit more. You have Kyle Pitts, you have Drake London, you have Mooney, okay? You don't have you have BJ Robinson as a wide receiver as well. You don't have these, like a bum cast around you, so it's you want to see more. And when I watch him throw, dude, he seems like shaky. I don't like it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he'll progress next year, but I don't really like him as a future running quarterback, franchise quarterback. But besides that, we all know that this team runs through Robinson. It's Robinson, and Tyler Algier. So it's Robinson, Tyler Algier. Tyler Algier has over 200 yards rushing. Robinson's over 400 or 500, and he's a great receiver. It all revolve around them. So, and it's good because, like I said, Michael Penix is inconsistent. Atlanta is a little bit blitz happy, by the way. They're one of the top teams in top 5 teams that blitz the opposing quarterback because when they're not blitzing, they're literally just average at hurry QB hits and QB hurries and sacks. So that's why they are blitzing like crazy. Their defense, though, has allowed 8 receptions for 20 yards. That's the fewest in the NFL. So they're not getting killed by the deep ball, which is really good. And they're also one of the fastest teams. If you watch them, they do fly around, and that's one of the things they want to do: get younger, get faster, because that was a problem last year. Not much to say anymore. I just also want to mention the Dolphins have failed to cover 12 out of the last 17 games as an underdog. So that is not good. Adam, I'll let you take this one. It's basically a disoriented franchise. Are they a rabid dog too? Are they on the verge like the Ravens, or are they just packing the suitcases and ready to go to Cancun?
I think the Falcons are playoff fringe. They got beat up by a Niners team last week that surprised a lot of people. Their defense played really good. The Dolphins have the worst.
Shanahan just outcoached them.
Yeah. And Salah's got that defense humming. So yeah. The Dolphins have the worst rush defense in the league. So I think the Falcons, it's a good time to bounce back, let them run rampant over, run roughshod. I don't know the term, but I hear you. Yeah, I think the Falcons are going to dominate. The Dolphins just don't have any fight left. So I think the Falcons want to bounce back, and I think they can cover, even though I wish it wasn't over. It was the 7.5. I wish it was 6.5.
Yeah, I don't like that 7.5 the hook. But I mean, how could anybody, I'm done putting trust in them, okay? You would think A-Chain and Waddle and I don't know whatever else they have on that team. I don't know if Darren Waller is gonna play this game. Look at the injury reports. You think though, but how can you trust this team when the coach is saying this? The head coach. I mean, the head coach is saying this. The quarterback's saying this. We all know the head coach is gonna be fired. We know guys are looking to get traded off this team. So I don't know. I think it's disorganized as hell. I think Atlanta with their run game. Give me Atlanta to cover the 7.5. Give me Robinson over his total team yards, and give me both Tyler Algier as an anytime touchdowner, and give me BJ Robinson as an anytime touchdown. I think they're going to run all over this Miami's defense, and I think both those guys will get into the end zone. So give us both the Atlanta Falcons to cover the 7.5 points. And let's keep on going. We have another big number here. We have the Buffalo Bills versus the Panthers, which I'm surprised is a big number, with Buffalo Bills being favored by 7.5 and the over-unders 44.5 points, 45.5 points. I'm sorry. Bills are coming off a bye. That's another like the Ravens. They needed this bye. They're on a 2-game losing streak. Let's talk about the Bills' defense. We know their offense, okay, and we'll touch on the offense, but the defense is not so great. Their rushing defense is 32nd in DVOA by a wide margin. Okay, that is not good. They're allowing 159.3 rushing yards per game to the opposing team. That is god awful. Nobody's even close to that in DVOA. Okay, so they got to do something. They need to go trade for a safety, or get a bigger, better nose tackle, or a linebacker, or something. They're also allowing the most yards before and after the tackler, the most before and after the tackler when he's rushing. So before when the rusher, before he's touched and after he's touched, they're allowing the most yards in both of those. So that's not good. Like I said, the rushing game is killing me everywhere. They only have 5 turnovers, so less than 1 turnover a game. And also, now let's move to the offense. They need another weapon. Kincaid is their best, leads them in receiving yards. He's questionable to go in this game, and he's a real question. They don't know if he's going to play yet. Knox is not a bad second tight end, but it says here Coleman is not looking so great. I know he's passing the ball around Allen. A lot of these receivers all have 200 yards receiving. He is spreading the ball, but Allen needs a guy to go over the top. He needs some guy he could just trust his fastball, if you will, his decision. We're like, hey, I'm about to get sacked. Throw it right up there for him. He needs that. That's why they wanted to get Amari Cooper last year, even though he didn't do jack shit for them. But he needs that. They need another. And the rumors are saying that they said the Bills are looking for another weapon. They do. I would go look for anybody. I would ask Garrett Wilson if he wants to be traded, or Rashid Shaheed. Somebody go get one of these crappy teams. They do have weapons. Okay, they need another weapon. They need another safety as well to help them with this rush defense, because it's god awful. Also, I just want to say that if they need to force to win this game for the Patriots, that is. They need to force the Red Rocket, force the Panthers to pass the ball. Before we jump on the Panthers, man, I just want to say the Bills are 2-4 against the spread, and they're 1-1 against the spread on the road. Before we jump on the man, I think the Bills are overrated. I think that right now, before they make any moves, I think people got the rose-colored glasses, whatever, for Josh Allen, and I think they're getting a little too much boost here, if you will. But what do you think? Do you think they're, I don't know. Do you think they're gonna, everybody predict them as Super Bowl potential? I don't see that now, but what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I don't see it either. I don't know. It's really hard to bet against an MVP talent like Josh Allen any week. And he could turn this around. He's amazing. They can put up points, but the defense is just beyond suspect. So they need to shore that up before the trade deadline if they can, because I don't know if they're going to win a Super Bowl looking like this. Right? They won't win a Super Bowl looking like this.
Yeah, I've said it multiple times, guys, on my podcast. If Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson don't win a Super Bowl, you're talking about some of the greatest talents who never won a Super Bowl. Now, it sucks they played in the they're playing in the Mahomes era and the Philadelphia Eagles, but that would really suck. They're unbelievable talent. These guys are better than Jim Kelly, okay? Even though Jim Kelly is a great quarterback and he's a Hall of Famer, but if they don't win, that's unbelievable. The Bills should be leave the league. They should just sell their franchise and then get Allen the Super Bowl. Well, let's talk about the Panthers, okay? The Panthers are coming off a close win against the Jets. I had the Jets on that. Of course, they don't win and cover. They're on a 3-game winning streak. Hell, that really, really good to see from the Panthers. Like I said before, the Red Rocket will be starting Andy Dalton. And, you know, you might have to ask people, you have to ask yourself, is this a step down from Bryce Young, from Andy Dalton? Now, is the offense probably going to run the same? Yes, this is a rushing offense, and they're doing a hell of a job doing it. But you have to ask yourself, if quarterback play, is this a step down? Because Young, I know they haven't been beating the best teams. They beat the Falcons, their best win 30-0, but they beat the Dolphins, Cowboys, and Jets. But Bryce Young had over 1,200 yards passing, and he had 11 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Good ratio. And his completion rate was 61%. You want to see better than that. So there might be a little bit drop off from Bryce Young to Andy Dalton. Now, Andy Dalton looked decent. He had 1 touchdown, no turnovers in the game last week, but keep an eye on that. It might be a little bit of drop off. But like I said, they're going to pound the rock. Pound the rock, pound the rock. Chuba Hubbard's back, and Rico is killing it. These guys have around 800 yards in combined rushing. So they're killing it. Rico looked good last week. He looked better than Chuba Hubbard, and Rico got more rushing attempts than Chuba Hubbard. So this is something they can rely on. Be like the Atlanta Falcons. Tyler Gier and BJ Robinson. You can be a Chuba Hubbard and Rico. So that's a good thing for them to go forward with. One thing they could expose is the rushing attack, the rushing defense of the Bills. The Bills is terrible. It's in the bottom 3 in all of the NFL. Like I said, the worst DVOA. So if they can really do well and just keep on pounding that rock, keep Josh Allen off the field, it surprised a lot of people. The Panthers rush defense is not bad either. It's actually good. And so that's something they could do in stopping Cook and Allen. So that's good to see. Their passing defense is average. It's not terrible. They do have Horn back there, but they probably want another corner, something else they can help them out with. So the Panthers, I know they're not world beaters. They haven't beat the best guys, but they have some really positive things to look at, and they look better than last year. They're 5-2 against the spread in general, and they're 3-0 against the spread at home. So I also want to mention, just so I won't say like I'm glazing the Panthers, the Carolina has the worst DVOA against tight ends. So if Knox is playing or Kincaid, they probably will have some. They'll probably look good down the middle. So if you want to do a player prop, I would suggest going over their yards or receptions, if you will, for that game as a player prop, because they're not doing too well against the tight ends. With this game, do you think you want to get the Panthers? I mean, like I said, they're surprising people. I went a little bit of a rant there, but I wanted to tell people. I just wanted to show people that they're not that bad.
No, they're not, and their defense has been playing good too. I know it was just the Jets last week, but they played good against them. They, held the Cowboys pre-CeeDee Lamb back to under 30 points. They're playing well. I don't know. It is going to be a bit of a toss-up with Andy Dalton, but relying on the run game helps everything. So, yeah.
It definitely does. And I'm taking the Panthers plus the 7.5. I think this is way too much for a team that, I know it's Andy Dalton, but you know what? And you could do worse for a backup quarterback, okay? Go ask the Baltimore Ravens. I think you do a lot worse. I think they're going to stick to pounding that rock. They have great interior linemen, the Panthers. So I think they're going to stick to pounding it. Keep Allen off the field. It's in Carolina. We don't know what the Bills are going to be after the bye week. Okay. I know Sean McDermott has he's 9-0 off the bye or 8-0 off the bye, but too many points, particularly from one of the worst rush defenses in the league. And I think there's gonna be a lot of points scored, but I think the Panthers could keep it close. I'm taking the Panthers plus the 7.5.
Yeah, no, I think you nailed it. I'm going with you. Keeping Allen off the field. Hopefully they don't score, or it's not a super high scoring game, but I think they hang in there, cover the 7.5.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good game. Actually, I'm actually looking forward to it, because I think the Bills are gonna look too much hyped up here. Now let's go the reverse, where I think a lot of points are not going to be scored. We have the 49ers versus the Texans. Texans being favored by 1.5 and the over-under 41.5. 49ers coming off a surprising win against the Falcons. I say surprising because they are injured everywhere. They're still injured here, over there, up here, down here. They're average everywhere, okay? It's unbelievable, but they still win the game, and that's good coaching. They have a great head coach in Kyle Shanahan, and like Adam said before, their defense, Robert Saleh, he has his team believing in it, and even though they're beat up everywhere, the system is working for them. Okay. So again, Fred Warner, he's out for the year, the blood and soul of that team. But let's talk about the demigod, the second coming of Jesus, Allah, whatever you want to believe he is. That is Christian McCaffrey. Okay. Christian McCaffrey, this guy is, I don't know what he is, Adam. Is he a superhero? Is he Hawk? Is he Wolverine? Spider-Man?
He's
This
a
guy,
beneficiary of blood magic, Mark. We've talked about this.
yeah, yeah. This guy has been insane. He is literally carrying the 49ers and the city of San Francisco on his back for them to all the games they've won. Let's just go over it. He has 981 total yards. Okay, I saw a stat here. I wonder if I can find it real quick here. We're doing this in real time. I'm gonna try. So I'm not trying to give you guys data that he's doing so well against against teams, and he's being the best. What do you call it? The best switchblade, if you will. He has more receiving yards than Cortland Sutton, Drake London, Chris Olave, DK Metcalf, and AJ Brown. That's Christian McCaffrey. He has more receiving yards than all of those guys. Unbelievable. The guy's a killer. He is keeping this team alive. So like I said, Adam said it's blood magic. They're doing something. The witches and from Etsy, they're keeping this guy alive.
Did you see that play where he tried to come off the field and they
No.
pushed him back on? Yeah, I think it was right before he scored another touchdown. He was running off the field, and what's his name? Shanahan pushed him back on. It reminded me. Did you watch Varsity Blues? That football movie. There's a Billy Bob where he's like all messed up, and he's like trying to come off. He's like, "Get out there! We need one more from you, Hoss." Or just riding this like concussed, messed up dude. But man, McCaffrey. I don't know what that team's gonna look like if he ever gets hurt this year, but God, he can squat a whole team. That's for sure.
100%. If he, God forbid, I hope he doesn't get injured. But if he does get injured, you could just count every loss they have after that, because Robinson's a good backup, but he's not McCaffrey. Like I said, guys.
Also, one more thing to jump on the defense. Bryce Huff got hurt as well, so he had a good game, and he's out for a couple weeks. So the defense played great, but again, another guy goes down.
Exactly. I was just about to get into that. Okay, so yeah, Christian McCaffrey is killing it. 6 touchdowns as well. Kendrick Bourne has been a nice surprise. I think they got him off the free agent heap, and he's doing well. Also the rookie, I think I have his name, Tungus. I think is that he also has stepped up for them, and Kittle's while he was in the IR. So they're getting things out of these guys, but especially McCaffrey. San Francisco's averaging 20.7 points a game, and they're only giving up 19.7. So that's a good marker to say. But like Adam said, new guys were just added to the injured list. Huff, who was getting after the quarterback, he's not going to play this game, and he might be week to week. And also their starting center did not practice, and he's probably not going to play this game either, Jake Brendel. So more guys. It's like a laundry list. It's like the Constitution. As long as the injured list for this team, just like last year, this team is they need to fire their medical staff. Also, I just want to mention that the 49ers have lost 4 straight games against AFC opponents, and they're 31st in pressure rate. So that's going to get even worse. That Huff now is going to be out for this game. Let's jump on the Texans briefly. They're coming off a loss to the Seahawks. Me and Adam had the Seahawks in that one, so they cover for us. What can you say about the Texans? We know about them. Ferocious defense. Can get after the quarterback. They have stingy defense. You can run on them a bit, but they're not bad, but you can't run on them. So that's kind of good for the 49ers who have McCaffrey. But they also have yet to beat a team with a winning record. So the 2 teams that they have defeated are bums. So they're not beating any of the best in the NFL. The O-line is below average. Their passing defense is okay. It's average. I think Stroud has only been sacked 10 times, give or take, something like that. So the pass defense holding up. I mean, the passing pass block is holding up, but the rushing scheming, the rush blocking is terrible. They haven't had one running back, Woods or Chubbs or Marks, whatever his name is, something like that, Not one of them has rushed over 70 yards. Not one of them in all these games. It's the worst rushing attack, if not the worst, definitely bottom three in the NFL. They cannot run the ball on nobody. Nico and Kirk did not practice. I know Nico had a concussion. Kirk had a previous injury from last week. So keep an eye on that, because if those guys are out, oh, Lord, it's going to be terrible for them. But like I said, it's the defense that keeps them in the games, and the defense is only allowing teams to score 14.7 points. So they're holding basically teams to 2 touchdowns, and they have 10 turnovers. You want to see their sacks to get up there. They're like the middle of pack when it comes to stacks. But when you have Hunter and Will Anderson Jr., you want to see more than that. So, dude, I'll let you take this one. It's one injured team. I think it comes down to this, and I'll let you go. Do you think the coaching of the 49ers could, again, and Christian McCaffrey, blood magic, overcome, again, from all their injuries to topple this Texans team that has a great defense, but the offense looks lost? So what do you think, man?
Hey, is Nico Collins playing? Because he had a concussion scare.
Yeah, he is still. He did not practice, I believe. Let me double check, because I was Wednesday. Maybe they put up Thursdays. Let's do this in real time, baby. Nico Collins did not practice today, Thursday.
Yeesh. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I want to go with the Niners because I feel like they're a better team, but I think I'm going to go with the Texans. The Texans only have 2 wins, but they've lost close games to the Rams, who are awesome, the Buccaneers, who played awesome, the Jaguars, who were hot at the time. They blew out the Texans, blew out the Ravens like they should, and then they lost to a Seahawks team that looks almost like a Super Bowl contender. So all of their losses were pretty close and to good teams. So I think they hang in there against the Niners. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
You surprised me there, because I've been going back and forth this one all week, because Shanahan is scheming. Also, I don't know if Brock Purdy is I know Brock Purdy, they said he was pretty close, so keep an eye out for that. I think it's still going to be
I think
Mac Jones.
I was just reading about it a second ago. Okay. His toe is all messed up. I don't think he's going to play.
Okay. Also pay attention that they might be getting one of their starting corners back from IR, and Jalen Smith, the Texans. So that could be another thing that could help them out. But I'm going with you. I think that this Texans team, I think we'll find out later that who's going to be starting receiving for them. But I think this is not a rabid team like the Ravens against the wall. I think they can keep it close and maybe win by a field goal. I am not confident whatsoever. I could see Kyle Shanahan out coaching the Texans, but I'm going to take the Texans to play tough, keep it close enough, and possibly win by a field goal. Not confident in that, but that's what I'm going with. But now let's talk about the revenge game. The game that I'm on the calendar.
You had to wait two whole weeks for
2 weeks. To 2 weeks. I've been in a dark room with no lights on, just looking, waiting for the 2 weeks to get over for this game. Okay, we had the Giants versus my Philadelphia Eagles, with the Eagles being favored by 7.5 points and the over/under being 44.5. Giants are coming off a legendary loss to the Broncos. I believe, what was that? I'm weren't they ahead by 18 or 19 points with 5 minutes? Do I got that? It was kind of like
I think
that?
It was even more than that. Yeah. They gave up 33 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. So that is a legendary loss. I literally saw some statistic. I wish I could find it on ESPN, where they showed that the teams in those situations are 0 and 1,000 and something. And I was oh man, I wish I kept that statistic. So it goes to show you that that was a big legendary loss. I wish I could find it on, but I can't find it. But so that's what I'm going with. The legendary loss, unbelievable. But weeks ago, the Giants had their best win probably in maybe their last 5 years, 4 years. They blew out my Philadelphia Eagles. I was, I was in a different way. I couldn't believe it. But in that game, Okay, before I get to that, let me focus on the Giants here. Okay, I don't want to get on a rant. They had a legendary loss to the Broncos last week, and now, but 2 weeks ago, before the Broncos game, they had one of the best wins, and where that fat bald head coach, his best game probably in years. Okay, so the Giants team, they rely on two things. And only two things. They rely on Jackson Dart. He has given this team a spark. I think he's gave him like confidence. He's given him like a boost of morale, if you will. And, that's something it is. But, you know, is this still going to keep up? There's going to be more tape on this guy, and just keep an eye on that. Okay. Cause people are also blowing up Scatterboo just a little bit too much. He has 398 yards rushing, and that's only 4.1 yards a clip. That you don't want to go below that 4 yards mark. Now, don't get me wrong; those yards here are getting are tough yards. He's like a bowling ball. It looks like one, and he pounds them and he punishes people. Okay, so I see that, but just he's not like some world breaker breaking off big runs. So keep an eye on that. Jackson Dart looks great. Okay, like I said, he's added a spark to this team. He's 791 yards passing, 7 touchdowns, I believe 2 or 3 interceptions, but he's only actually completing 60% of his passes, so that's not really great. And he has 37 carries for 178 yards and 3 touchdowns. So he's doing it. Excuse me. He's doing everything. He's doing everything to keep this team above water. I think he's like this version of I don't want to say that. I was going to say like he's doing what Mahomes is doing. Mahomes has no running game either, and he's using his legs, but he is no Mahomes. But don't take that, okay, for what it is. He's not that. He's also very good against the blitz, which I advise the Eagles don't do. They blitzed him a crap ton in that game, and he's actually really good against the blitz. I already talked to you guys about Cam Scatterboo. Their defense isn't good, people. Okay, like their defense is not that great as some people are doing. I even thought their front seven would be better than this, but it's not. They've allowed the 5th most passing yards in total. They also surrendered the 10th most points per game. So people are scoring on them, and like I said, they're letting teams run on them left and right. The defense is ranked 29th overall in general. I want to just give them, some other perspective here. The Giants have covered the spread in each of their last 3 games versus teams with a winning record. So I'm not just trying to beat on them because I don't like them, but they are covering, which is good. They're in a lot of games, if you will. They still need something else besides Wade Robinson. He likes throwing to his tight ends and Theo Johnson and Bellinger, I think the other guy's name is. So, but they need something else besides Robinson. They're probably not going to go get somebody else because they're going to have a terrible record and they'll go have draft picks. But dude, before I get another diatribe, rant, craziness about my Philadelphia Eagles, what do you like? We got anything about the Giants you like, or you want to say about them?
No, I don't know. I guess they came down to earth a little bit last week against the Broncos. Some of that magic might be fizzling out. I do still think Dart is playing well, but it's hard to play a team back to back like this. Like, to win twice against the Eagles would be really, really impressive. So I don't know. I think you might need to have a reservation somewhere if call the loony bin or something if they beat the Eagles again.
If they call them there, man, I just might leave the country and just start talking about soccer games. But let's talk about my Philadelphia Eagles. They're coming off a tough road win against the Vikings. I say tough, and I said that was my best bets because in a lot of metrics, defensive metrics, Vikings are in the top 10. They just are. They're in the top 10 in a lot of metrics. So it was a tough win to go in Minnesota and almost put 30 points on them. Hurts, like I said, he lit up the Vikings secondary. He threw over 300 yards. Smith and AJ Brown had over 100 yards each receiving, so that's great. But hey, it's not all candy and cake here. The rushing is still god awful. It's ranked 30th in the NFL. It should never be like that when you have one of the best running backs in the league. So that needs to change. But it's hard to change when your offensive line is beat up and they're just not the same. Dickerson and Jurgens are both hurt. They're beat up. They're playing with injuries. We may or may not get Jurgens back. I know he believe he was limited at practice, our starting center. Dickinson has had neck injury. He's had a knee injury. So they're beat up. And also Steen is a step down in run blocking compared to Becton. Becton was a really, really great run blocker and not that great of a pass blocker. Steen's a better pass blocker than he's a running blocker. So in the running game, we do to step down having Steen at right guard. So that's not, they need to figure this out, or they need to trade for a guard or trade for a good backup lineman just because when these guys get hurt, longer term. The defense has to be better as well. The defense is not so great at getting after the quarterback. That they're not sacking like we should. I talked about how Darius Smith, he left the team and he led the team in sacks. Also, our defensive tackle who leads the team in sacks, Jumo, he's questionable in this game, but he with a concussion, but he was limited. So keep an eye out for that. But they did bring in Brandon Graham. They brought him back. He's 37, 38 years old. I know a lot of Philadelphia Eagle fans are happy about that. I don't believe it. I think nostalgia is a bad thing. I'm an Astros fan. When they brought Carlos Correa, I said the same thing. Don't fall in love with things that happened in the past. We need new blood, new perspectives to help a team. And they brought Brandon Graham back. Now, from reading beat writers who are on the field, they said he's already causing havoc already, Brandon Graham. So that's good to see. He is going to play in this game. He knows the system. He is in shape. Who knows how many snaps he's going to get, but he is back. It's going to help a little bit. I still think they need to make a move to get somebody in the front seven. They have a cornerback problem, okay? Mitchell is healthy. He's playing this game. But besides him and Cooper DeJean, which, by the way, they are graded as the best cornerback duo in the league. But their second corner, Jackson, he was benched before for Ringo. Ringo was even worse than Jackson. He got benched, but Jackson's hurt. They cannot get Ringo in this game. I do not care, okay? Go get somebody who's 80 years old in a wheelchair, and he will play better than Kelly Ringo, whatever the hell his name is, okay? He'll play better than the person in the wheelchair. A person on crutches would play better than Ringo, okay? Ringo's good at special teams, and that's all he should be doing is special teams. That's it. But no. So we get a little good news in that department. Jacorian Bennett has been taken off the IR. He was the trade we did for the Raiders before the season started. So they could use him, and I would implement him right there in the starting spot. Pit him right there and just see what he got, because he can't be any worse than those two bums, those two jokers, okay? Eagles didn't also. I want to emphasize this. I'll let you say something, Adam, because but the Eagles really I need to emphasize this. The Eagles didn't seem prepared at all for the Giants. They didn't seem ready for this Jackson Dart scrambling. I do not know why. They let him scramble all over the field. They didn't have a QB spy whatsoever. I don't understand this. They blitz and blitz and blitz him without just, let him try to beat you in the passing game. Let him do that instead of him using his legs. So I think this is prime time for Vic Fangio. I think he's going to be more prepared. I think he knows what to do now. He's seen what Jackson Dart can do. So I think he's not just going to blitz the house every damn time, and he's going to have somebody to keep an eye on him. And we do have Nakobe Dean back, who's a way better run blocking, better run stuffer at linebacker than Campbell, our fantastic rookie. He is way better. Campbell's really good in coverage. But his strength is not the rush tackling the runner. That's Nakobe Dean. He's back and he's playing more snaps. So that's another big plus. And as I said, Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter is going to be back for this game. You know what, Cam Scattaboo? You like to run over people, but we have now another guy on the other end who'll take off your head for no reason. He'll meet you in the back of an alley in the club and hit you for no damn reason. We got him back. He opens everything else for the defense. You ask the Minnesota Vikings. The run game did nothing for them, okay? Believe me. Did you see Carter hit Wentz? Wentz had to probably he looked like he got when he woke up, he thought he was in 6th grade, okay? We have Carter. He is back. I want to see him just collide with Scattaboo. And we'll see how big Scattaboo think how tough he really is with Carter. And Mitchell is back too. Shut down ace cornerback. Let's see how their bum ride receiving corps does against that. Before I let you jump in one more time, the Eagles have covered the spread in each of their last 5 games versus the Giants after a win. Also, the Eagles have won 12 out of 13 games against the Giants one playing at home. So I ran it like a madman there. I just had to do it because I've been waiting for this game, Adam. What do you think about the Eagles? This matchup in general? I'll let you take it from here for a little bit.
No, I think you hit on a lot of good points. Specifically, Jalen Carter being back is huge, and Fangio having time to scheme up after a bad loss. Last week, Hurts played pretty much perfect. They did have to live and die by the deep ball, which he is good at. For a long-term strategy for the Eagles, I don't think you want Hurts just throwing bombs. It did work for them last week, but I'm not a Hurts fan, but he played great last week. So we'll see if he can keep that up and if that connection with the wide receivers keeps rolling, because they haven't been able to rely on the rush game, and their defense isn't dominant either. So, like I said, long term, I don't like that Hurts is going to have to win games for them, but hopefully they can figure it out in the meantime.
Right. And I don't want to just blaze the Eagles here before I give my prediction here. The Eagles are one of the worst teams at converting third downs. So that's not good. Like I said, the rushing is ranked 30th, and they don't really get after. They're not sacking the quarterback. They have really good QB pressures. So that has helped them when the quarterback try to get the ball out of his hands. But they don't need to get after the quarterback. And like I said, they're not converting third downs, and that is not good. I also want to say the Giants are one of the worst teams allowing passes over 20 yards or more, and that's falling straight in the hands, which I think after the Minnesota Vikings game, I think the Eagles are really going to emphasize the deep ball in this game, because they are one of the worst. They are the worst team against passes 20 yards or more, the Giants. So with that being said, it's Kelly Green night where they wear those great colors. Give me the Eagles to cover the 7.5, the 10, 12. I think 10 we even outpitted that. Okay. Revenge game, easy. I also want to remind people to pay attention to the injury reports, because AJ Brown did not practice on Wednesday. He didn't practice on Thursday. From what I'm reading, he might play this game, and they're taking it safe with him. But I think just keep an eye on that. But I think the Eagles cover this number. Revenge game. Vic Fangio is going to be better prepared. This defense, Carter's back, and they're wearing the Kelly Green jerseys, and they have great numbers in those jerseys. What do you got?
7.5 is a lot of points.
It is.
I do think the Eagles are going to be super motivated. But I need to have fun while I'm watching, so I'm gonna I'm gonna go with the Giants.
Oh man, you're a son of a bitch, man. I knew it. Hey, I'm not 7.5 is a lot, so I agree with you. And I was surprised because how tough they played the Broncos, and they beat the Eagles. So I'm surprised it was that as well. So 7.5, a lot for division opponents, but I think they get their revenge. So that's to be a fun game for both of us. Now let's talk about the teams that are one's pretty crappy, one's great. Adam has him as a quarterback in fantasy. Good pickup that was. We have the Browns versus the Patriots. Patriots being favored by 7.5 points, over under 40.5. Browns are coming off a blowout win against the Dolphins. I mean, they blew the doors off them. It was mostly a defensive matchup. That game, I mean, the defense did a lot of the work for the Browns. Like I said, they caused three interceptions, and they caused 3 forced fumbles and recovered 2 of them. So the defense was humming against the Dolphins. As we know with the Browns, that is, it's their defense. Their defense is the butter, the everything you need. They everything for the Browns. Okay, so they're playing lights out. This team runs through Judkins as well. He has the most rushing yards for a rookie. He has, I think he had 3 touchdowns last week. So the guy's killing it. So it runs through the defense and the running back, and they're good on both ends, the front 7 and the back 7. The Cleveland Browns. So the running back needs to do well for them to actually stay in games offensively. So, because I'm not liking Daniel Gabriel, a lot of dinking and dunking. He has his favorite, his tight end, Fannin. but I'm not liking what I see from him. I think they should just use Sherrard Sanders. He could use his legs, and he has a more bigger arm than Gabriel. I don't understand this keeping him in the back burner. Like, what do you have to lose? Use Sanders, see what you got. I think I've seen enough what I need from Daniel Gabriel. He looks like a guy who's I don't know, a dink and dunk kind of guy. Only 3 touchdowns passing. Yeah, he has no interceptions, but it's just a lot of dinking and dunking. Um, you know, they haven't won a road game this season, so that's something to look out for. Even though, like, I just went on I just praised their defense. They haven't done well on the road, but they, like I said, their bread and butter is their defense. And Adam, anything you want to say about the Browns?
No, I don't know. Defense isn't enough in the NFL anymore. You got to have both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, are you in agreement? They should probably would you just start Sanders, see what you have?
We're not at the practices. I don't know. He might suck. I can't say, but I think he'll get some play this year.
Right. Yeah, I think so too. I just think it should do it sooner than later. Let's talk about the Patriots. They're coming off a blowout win against the Titans. Me and Adam are on the other, where we both had that one. They're on a 4-game winning streak. They're killing it. Drake May is rolling it. He's I think top 5 now MVP voting. Here's a great statistic for everybody. Drake May has at least 200 passing yards and a passer rating for over 100 in each game, which is unbelievable. That guy is rolling. Like I said, Adam picked him up in at the free agent waiver wires, and he's been doing amazing for you. But the one thing I want to say about the Patriots, I want to see from Drake May and the Patriots offenses, I want to see them play against this defense, because the pass defense, and more particular, the pass defenses, because I'm not worried about the rushing offense. Stevenson, good, better than average, not great. Henderson, the rookie guy they drafted, they don't even use him. Stevenson only has 245 yards rushing. They pass the ball, okay? And Drake May uses his legs sometimes too, but this is a passing team. So I want to see how they do they go against a good pass defense. The previous pass defense they've played against are ranked 15th, 32nd, 18th, 25th, 21st, 28th, and 25th. So now they're playing a team that is top 10 in damn near every defensive metric. So let's see how Drake May, how he responds against a team that could hit him in the mouth, that could get after him. They're probably going to stop the running game because they're in the top 5 rush defense. But let's see him actually play against a great passing defense. And I also want to mention, a lot of people don't know this, the Patriots defense is pretty damn good too. They're second in rush defense. So don't think Judkins is going to run over this team. I know he looks great, but they have a great rush defense over there in New England. So, but I am more particular for this whole game. I want to see how Drake May does against this defense, because the defense he's played in the last 7 games, not so great. So, man, what do you think about the Patriots, and give us your prediction?
No, I think you nailed it. I'm excited to see how May handles this, but the rest of the Patriots team has looked solid. May, I think he went 21 for 23 last week, breaking an accuracy record. The guy's rolling. Man, I've just been really having a hard time with these 7.5 point spreads on these games. But I do think they keep rolling, and I don't think the Browns offense is going to be able to score many points on the Patriots. So I'm taking the Patriots. They've been doing me well so far this year. So
I agree with you. It's a lot of points, and but what I come to is the passing defense is the worst thing about the Patriots. Their passing defense is in the bottom 10, but this team can't pass. This team can't throw the ball well. So that's not their strength. Their strength is running the ball, the Browns, but they're playing against a team that's second ranked in rushing defense. So who's going to score the points? Is you going to rely on Gabriel, the rookie? No, thank you. I don't think that's going to happen. So I think the Patriots, it's a big number and a really tough defense, but how can you take the Browns in this one in New England? So give me the Patriots, by the way, are 1-2 playing at home. So they've lost more games than they won at home, but I can't take the Browns in this. Give me the Patriots to cover the 7.5. Now let's talk about a team that's also beat up like the 49ers. Let's talk about the Buccaneers versus the Saints. Buccaneers being favored by 4.5 and the over under 46.5. Bucs are coming off a loss to the Lions. I think they didn't cover in that game. And dude, you see, I lost. I needed 4 more points from either Mayfield or Mike Evans. Mike Evans gets hurt, and I lose in fantasy that week. I needed 4 points. I'm also the most injured guy in our fantasy league. That's not an excuse either, Adam. Okay, it's pretty beat up. But hey, let's talk about the Bucs now. They're beat up everywhere as well. Mike Evans, he is done for the year. Godwin, he's just like week to week basically now. Like they don't know when he's coming back. Your boy, I cannot pronounce his name. He is also questionable. He's probably going to play this game, but he's questionable with a knee injury, I believe. But he is probably going to play this game. But I think him and Kate Allen is actually not bad, and Shepard. So it's not terrible. The rookie Des Johnson can go over the top. It's not bad, but they're starting to, those injuries are starting to pile up. Weatherspoon on defense is out. I mean, he's injured, so the injuries are piled up like the 49ers and like the Ravens. Oh, and Bucky Irving is out too, so he's still out, and they need him like another bad way because he's actually like Christian McCaffrey. He's a great receiving back and a good runner, so they need him back as soon as possible to help help this offense with all these damn injuries. Their defense is something left to be desired as well. They're a great run defense, like unbelievable. They're in the top 5. Passing defense is in the back end. I think it's in the bottom 10. I think it's 22nd ranked, the pass defense. So that's something that possibly the Saints can expose. I don't know, man. What do you think about the Bucs? Before I say that, like the Bucs have won each of their 10 games against NFC opponents on a losing streak. So like I said, the Saints are on a losing streak. And they've won 10 straight against teams who are on a losing streak. And the road team has covered the spread in each of their last 7 games between the Bucs and Saints. So take that for what it is. What do you think about the Bucs, man? Like they are a really great team. I think if they were complete healthy, I think they would have a really chance at Super Bowl contenders. But I don't know, things are piling up on them everywhere on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and they kind of have been living off Baker Mayfield just having miraculous plays and playing out of his mind for the first 6 or 7 weeks. So it's hard. I know last week they played against the Lions, who looked amazing. So it's kind of a hard barometer to tell like where they level back out with Mayfield, if he takes a step back from his crazy run. But yeah, they're still a good team, but the injuries are really hard to get past.
Yeah. So keep an eye on that, guys. Baker Mayfield cannot play Superman all the time and he's getting beat up too. He gets limping off the field. He was getting hit a lot in that Detroit game. So like keep an eye out for that. That guy can't play Superman all the time. So, and I know the Saints are inferior and they have one of the worst records in the NFL, but it could add up, so keep an eye out for that. Let's talk about the Saints briefly. Coming off a loss against the Bears, which they didn't cover. Not much to say about the Saints. Olave, he looked good, his best game yet last week. That's something they can hang their hat on. Their offense is what they can hang on. They got Rashid Shaheed, Johnson, Hill, Kamara, and Olave, but Spencer rather kind of came down to earth. He looked rough. He had a few interceptions. So is that something that, that might be, are we now seeing the true Spencer Rattler? That's something to keep an eye on. Chris Young is back to help the front 7 out. So that's really good. They can get after the quarterback a bit. So he's just going to help that even more. Saints play better at home, by the way, and they are playing in New Orleans. Every game they've lost at home was decided by a touchdown or less. So that's really good. And they have 1 win at home. Their 1 win is at home. So they do play tougher at home. So, dude, this is a divisional rival. One team is reeling. They're coming off a bad loss to the Bears, and one team, better players, but injuries galore. Who do you like in this one, man, in this NFC South matchup?
I hate to say it, but I think the Saints are going to keep it close enough in this one. The Bucs just have too many injuries. I know they've been playing well, but I think the Saints are going to keep it close.
Yeah, I mean, I just I know I know Baker Mayfield's doing everything, but You can't tell me that this is not going to catch up to him. All these injuries, the hits he is taking, sacrificing his body. Like I did some limping in that Detroit game. So I also want to mention that Vita Vea, their best, arguably or probably their best defender, he did not practice today. So keep an eye out for that. And Winfield and David, they're all limited in practice. They'll probably will play. So a lot of rumps. I'm going to take the Saints at home. They play tougher teams. They play tougher at home. So give me 4.5, 5.5. I'll try to take the best number, but I'm with Adam. Give me the Saints plus the points. And sticking with another crappy team, a team that's, even though they have one more win than the Jets, they're, I think, the worst team in the NFL. That's the Titans versus the Colts. Colts being favored by 14.5 points, the biggest number of this week. And the over-under is 47.5. What can you say about the Titans? We say this every time. What can you say about them? Players are talking about other players. They fired their coach. They're coming off a blowout loss to the Patriots. Cam Ward still getting sacked left and right. He's been sacked 30 times. Lockett was released, by the way. So Tyler Lockett wasn't doing anything anyways. And he was released. So, good for Tyler Lockett, I guess, right? Like, he got out of that situation. Also, today, like just a few hours ago, Snead, their best cornerback, was put on the IR, and they were looking to trade that guy. So, who knows if he'll get traded, because who's going to trade for an injured player? So, they may have to be on the hook for him for another year. So, that's just more crappy news for the Titans. Jeffrey Simmons, their best defender, he is out. He's week to week. So, there goes that. Also, the other big defender, Adrian Key, he's been out for the last 2 games. He's probably out there. So the best 3 defenders are now out for probably weeks to come. Their offense is nothing to brag about. I don't know if Calvin Ridley's going to play or not. Who cares? They can't even give him the ball. I don't know. Anything else you want to say about the Saints there, man? The Titans, sorry.
No, Ward looked fine at times, but yeah, it's over.
Yeah. The cows are coming in, they say, or whatever. But let's talk about the Colts now. Colts, they look amazing. They blew out the Chargers like nobody's business. The offense looks unreal. They have scored on their first 10 possessions this season. So they're scoring as soon as they get the ball, right out the gate. And they've scored 14 touchdowns in their past 15 red zone attempts, and they have still the fewest punts there is in the NFL. They punted the fewest out of all the teams. We know about their offense. Taylor's killing it. He should be a top 5 MVP candidate. It's a big number, dude. 14.5, but I'm taking the Colts at home. 14.5. I think give me Taylor for 2 anytime touchdowns for this game. I think they're just going to run and pound the ball and just grind the Titans to death.
Yeah, it's an easy one too for me. Colts are a complete team. They're looking amazing. They'll put up 35 easy.
Yeah, I don't know how the Titans could do anything to a Colts team that is rolling. And if the Colts somehow do win or cover, it might be one of the best covers in the NFL. So let's talk about a team that I think, this might be the game of the week, other than my Giants and my Eagles guys. Did I say my Giants guys? I'll wash
Do not edit that.
Yeah, well, sticking to the NFC East, I think this might be the game of the week. Besides the Eagles, like I said, sorry. Cowboys versus the Broncos. The Broncos being favored by 2.5 points, and the over/under being 50.5. Let's talk about the Cowboys before we get into the Broncos. Cowboys, this offense is sky flying. I think it's the best offense. If Joe Burrow was healthy, maybe the Bengals would have the best offense, but they're the complete deal. Okay. They have a Javonte Williams, fantastic running back, guy's amazing, and a top 5 wide receiver duo in Perkins and Lamb, and the other guys, Turpin and I forget the other guy. They're back. They're healthy. Ferguson's looking good at tight end. Decent to good to great offensive line. CeeDee Lamb came out like game busters. He had a great game against the Commanders, who they blew out, by the way. They blew up by 22 points or 20 points, something like that. They blew him out. Dak Prescott, I think he has to be in the talks of MVP as well because they're 3-3-1, so they don't have like a losing record. So I think Dak Prescott needs to be in that conversation for MVP too. The guy's lighting it up like crazy. Okay, like I said, Javonte Williams is lighting up as well. George Perkins, even though I know Lamb came back, he still looked good. He still looked great. He has over 600 yards receiving. So this offense is amazing. But as we know with the damn Cowboys, it's their defense. Their defense is unbelievably bad. You know, they Bland, they signed him to that long-term deal. I don't know, does that look bad now? The other cornerback who I forget his name, who people he was like one of the better corners or better secondary guys in football last year, Trevon Diggs. Now he looks terrible. So, I don't know what happened, but he does not look good. I don't know if it's Matt Fleeberfus, whatever how he says his name, Eberflus. I don't know if he doesn't work well in the system, but he does not look good. This defense is just terrible in every metric. They can't do anything well. So that's the problem. They can light up any team. They could go blow to blow, but their defense will allow anything to happen to them. So, dude, it's fun watching the Dallas Cowboys, but man, this defense is something else.
It is. Yeah, I mean, the offense is just that good though right now. They are running into a really good defense, but man, I don't know. I don't know if it was Lamb going down that really unlocked Pickens as, another number one. But they don't have like a 1A, 1B. They have like a one capital A and one lowercase a. Like they have two stud wide receivers. And
a stud running back.
And a stud running back, and Prescott's dealing. So, I don't know. He does this a lot where he's hot in the beginning of the year, and it starts to fade out at some point. But they're red hot.
They are. And, now let's talk about the Broncos coming off, like we said about the Giants, a legendary win. Like it was like they scored like 33 points in the fourth quarter, which has to be at a record. It has to be so that has to give them a lot of confidence for what they did there. We all know about the Broncos. It's their defense. They lead the league in sacks. They're on their way to break the record for the most sacks from the 1985 Bears. So we know about that, their thing. But it comes down to the offense. This offense needs to be more consistent. Like I said, they needed 33 points in the fourth quarter against the Giants to win that game. A Giants team that is not good against the deep ball against other opposing teams. A Giants defense that is not good in general. And they needed to pit a miracle quarter to win that game. The offense needs to be more consistent, and that's its Achilles heel. Now, I do think they need to get another weapon if they really want to play, want to win this division and keep the Kansas City Chiefs at bay, because besides Sutton, even J.K. Dobbins, he's good, not great. He's very injury prone. But after Cortland Sutton, you're not really scared of anybody on this offense. You got to worry about Bo Nix's legs and Dobbins. But if I'm somebody, I could just double team Sutton. I'll let Bo Nix try to throw somebody else. So that's the problem with them. Okay, like I said, they could get it. They could play. They go toe to toe with any team defensively. But this offense is inconsistent. I'll go first one, man. This one is tough because it's the two great powers. You have one great defense in the Broncos, and you have one great offense in the Cowboys, and then vice versa. The Cowboys offense is better than probably the Cowboys defense, so this is tough. But I don't know. I think the Cowboys could score on any defense, and I'm gonna take them plus the 2.5 points here. I know the Broncos are at home, but I don't know. I don't like what I'm seeing from this Broncos offense. It's too inconsistent. And if they could just do a little better in stopping the run or making Bo Nix beat them in the passing game, I think they could hang around and put up enough points against this tough defense that is the Broncos. And I think they can maybe win this outright, to be honest with you. But I'm going to take Cowboys plus the 2.5.
Yeah, I like that. I'm going to go with you on that. They're just too inconsistent for me as well. And the defense, they have some of the stats, but they're not 85 Bears dominant. They're winning games close. They're grinding it out, and you're not going to be able to just grind out a win against the Cowboys with that high-powered offense, in my opinion. So I like the Cowboys.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a really great game. I want to see how this. I like to see CD Lamb and Pickens go against this really great team. That the whole defense. It's gonna be really fun to watch. Now let's talk into this. Let's talk about the second revenge game. The a guy who's been foaming at the mouth to get back at his team since he's left them years ago. A guy who's kind of nutty in the head, actually. And he's it's his first time playing against his team that he's been there forever. We have the Cheeseheads, the Green Bay Packers versus the Aaron Rodgers Steelers, with the Packers being favored by 2.5 points and the over-under is 45.5. Now, the Packers are coming off a win against the Cardinals, which they did not cover. They did not cover against the Bengals. They did not cover against the Cowboys. And they did not cover against the Browns. 0-4 against the spread in the last month. Adam, I'll let you take away the Packers just a little bit. One, what is up with this? I think we talked about it last week. Let's just refresh the audience. Why are the Packers letting people hang around? Are you excited that Christian Watson is coming back for this game? If people don't know that, their big burner is coming back. Let's see how he does off this injury. And are you worried about Aaron Rodgers coming back and possibly getting revenge on the Green Bay Packers?
I'm not. There's a lot of things going on. I will say Rodgers has been pretty classy this week. I don't think he's trying to stir the pot or do anything crazy. As far as spreads go the last month, I do think the spreads have been too big for the Packers, obviously. Before they kind of showed some stuff that the spreads just stayed too big. The Cardinals played well, but really what it was that pushed us over the edge last week was Parsons playing out of his mind. He had 3 sacks, tons of pressures. Yeah. He looks great. The offense still putting up points on a solid Cardinals defense. Like I said, we do get some players back. Devontae Wyatt's back at D tackle, which he was a huge part of the early defensive kind of domination that we had. And Christian Watson, man, I cannot wait to see how he looks this week. I have a feeling it's going to be slow. It was a hamstring thing, but I don't know. If he can come out hot, that offense already has a lot of juice, and I think they're going to be dangerous. One couple issues still for me is our cornerback room. We have been getting exposed in the secondary, and we also are thin at running back. I have read some stuff that the Packers have been calling around, trying to get some backup help at running back. If Jacobs goes down, we're in dire straits. I know Marshawn Lloyd, our 3rd round pick from a couple years ago, that's been injured every single day since we've had him. I don't think that's going to pan out. So there are a couple of things that I want them to address, but overall I still like the trajectory of the team. The offense and Love have been playing well. And the offensive line, I think, is going to start to solidify a little bit. Hopefully Zach Thomas is on the mend. He's been playing hurt. But, yeah, they also, to your point about letting teams hang around, they did get a little more risky in the last week. They had a big 4th and 5 and a pivotal point in the game to keep them rolling and to have a go-ahead score. So I like that they're getting a little more risky and trusting Love in the offense. Kind of trying to take plays out of the Lions book and get some battle-tested moments there. So overall, I like what I see.
Yeah. And you made some really good points there. My concern is not really with the Packers offense. I want to see Jacobs average more than 3.7 yards a carry, so that needs to be, that's not the norm for him. He needs to be better than that. I also want to see Watson. They need a guy over the top. I know Golden's fast, but that's not really, I'm not seeing deep balls of Golden a lot. I think they need Watson and to really helps open the rest of the offense up. It's the defense. Now, that's good that they're getting White back, but they only have 3 turnovers. They only have 2 interceptions and 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery. Not good. The good teams you see in the playoffs and Super Bowl, they have a good turnover ratio, and 3 turnovers is not going to cut it to go really far in this. So they need to do something at corner. I do think they need to trade. I know the Packers are not really a big trading team, but I think they need to get just something, a little more help on the defense and the back seven. And I think I think that'd help overall the best team. And then Watson's coming back if he stays healthy. Then Reed, he may come back he's destined to come back later in the season. But the offense would be, I think, more okay. But they need back seven help, and they need to do something to turn the ball over more. Okay, because if you're not winning the turnover battle, you are keeping teams in the game. You just are.
Yeah. There was one secondary stat that I heard the other day was teams have a 62% contested catch rate against the Packers. So our corners are just getting mossed, and even in contested situations, they're just not coming down with interceptions, pass breakups. They're getting exposed. Nixon has been playing well, but teams are kind of avoiding him a little bit. But everybody else, yeah, it's suspect.
Yeah, you're sacking the quarterback. You have 18 sacks. You're getting after the quarterback. So I mean, I just said they need some help in the back seven. Now let's talk about the Steelers briefly. The Steelers are coming off a loss to the Bengals, which was it was a tight game, but the defense again. I know they looked good previously before the Bengals when they played against the Browns and the Vikings, but those are two teams don't really and the Patriots. But the signs that we saw earlier in the year against the Jets and the Seahawks came up with the Bengals. Joe Flacco lit them up. Brown ran all over them. You have to start asking this Pittsburgh defense: are these guys getting over? Or is Mike Tomlin? Are people figuring them out? Because you could pick. Joey Porter is not doing well. Darius Slay, I'm glad we got rid of him. TJ Watt, he's doing his usual thing. But besides TJ Watt, you're not really scared of anybody else getting after the quarterback as you were with the Steelers, because like I said, and also they are not, what I'm saying about the defense is they are sacking the quarterback. I take that back. They have 22 sacks. That's good. But the back seven is getting lit up like nobody's business. So that's my concern with the Steelers. I think their offense is going to be good. That they are going to get Calvin Austin, the third back for this game. He was injured. I think he didn't play last week. Jalen Warren. If the Steelers want to be serious, I think they need to make another move at running back. Go trade for something. He's really good at receiving. Yeah, a lot of receiving yards last week against the Bengals. But I think you want to see more from him. You want to see something more from your other wide receivers, because it's DK Metcalf, and then it's a drop massively to Fairmouth and then Warren. So you need something there to complement DK Metcalf. Like I said, Warren's not doing so bad. 311 yards rushing and 184 yards receiving. So he's not doing terrible. Good. That's good. I like how they're using him in the passing game, but I think they need a second weapon. But it's this back seven for me in the Steelers. And if the line protects Love, because the bread and butter the Steelers is sacking the quarterback. If they give Love enough time, he can possibly expose them, that back seven. So, dude, what do you think about this Steelers? And I'll let you take it away in your prediction.
Yeah, for me, like I said, their defense isn't as good as I expected it to be this year. Still not terrible, but
and Rodgers is killing it, by the way. I forgot to mention it. 68% completion rate, 14 touchdowns, only 5 picks, and he's only been sacked 9 times. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's great. I am interested to see how we match up with them. I don't miss watching Rodgers' limited offense, where he just likes to throw it to the outside, never over the middle, usually just to his favorite guy. So that is it's a limited offense. Yeah. So as far as my predictions, I think you'd have to be on 12 different kind of drugs to think I'm not taking the Packers in this one. I don't think 2.5 is enough. I know it's probably jinxing things, but I see the Packers offense heating up, and Rodgers is going to play good. You know he plays well with that chip on his shoulder, but I think the Packers have it.
Yeah, this is a tough one. It's a tough one, and I think this game is going to go over the number as well. I like the over in this game, but because the Rodgers is being protected so well, Um, and I think that both these teams have bad second, back sevens are not their strength. And I'm give me the points if that's the case. Like give me the Steelers who could protect well. If they could keep the uh, Packers from getting after him, I think Metcalf could go nuts. Like I said, Kevin Austin is back. Jalen Warren using them. I don't like like you said, the quick shots, the quick flats to his guys. It'd be nice to see something down the middle. Maybe they use Fairmouth and Smith a little bit more down there. But I like the I think it's gonna be a tight game. I think it's gonna go over. But I'll take any points I can. And like I said, they're 0-4 against the spread the last 4 weeks, the Packers. So they're not covering games. So give me the Steelers to cover the Sunday night game. That is going to be a great matchup. Rogers revenge game, I'm calling it. But now let's talk about the Monday night game. Only one Monday night game. We have the Commanders versus the Chiefs. Chiefs being favored by 11.5, and the over-under is 47.5 points. Commanders, they are beat up like nobody's business. They're another team that's injury-prone like hell. They lost to the Bears. They lost to the Cowboys on a 2-game losing streak. Marcus Mariota will be your starting quarterback. Jaden Daniels is not playing this game. Keep an eye out about the injury report because Scary Terry, I don't know if he's playing this game. He's injured. Deebo Samuel, Deebo Samuel's injured as well. Noah Brown, he's still in the injury reserve. So keep an eye out. I think Deebo and Scary Terry are going to play. So, but just keep an eye out. This, something may or may not happen. The running back, they have a good running back, 7th round pick. He's decent. But their defense is garbage. Okay. They have a lot of injury players who are out on the IR, out for the season, but there's nobody in this defense that scares you. There's nobody. I don't know what happened. I know Brandon Wagner's a good linebacker, but he is slower. I don't like Meshore Lattimore is looking like his age is catching up a little bit. I know he's not like super old, but I think that, he's not looking like the Lattimore we know. So, I don't know, man. The Commanders I know Marcus Mariota plays decent, and I don't think they're going to change their game that much because Marcus Mariota could use his legs like Jaden Daniels. I don't. He doesn't have the deep ball like Jaden Daniels does. I know they're going to run the ball. They still have Scary Terry if he's going to play this game, and Deebo looks like they are. But I don't know, man. And I think they won one game with Mariota at quarterback. What do you think, man, about this Commanders team without Daniels?
I think they're in big trouble. They have the oldest roster in the league. I think that contributes to the injuries. I don't know where they're going as a franchise. I think they're cooked without Daniels. So they're in big trouble.
Yeah, you're totally right. And their defense only has 3 turnovers in these 7 weeks going in. So they're like the Packers. They are not getting they're not getting the ball. They're not helping their offense get more points or get more points of generous off these turnovers. So it's not good. Like I said, guys, their defense is the worst thing about them. Even if Jaden Daniels is playing, their defense is not so great. You can run on this team like nobody's business. I just want you to remind everybody that. And I know the Chiefs running game is not good, but I'm not. I don't know. It's just not good. I think that the Commanders are in for a lot more losses than people think. Now let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs briefly here. Chiefs, they're coming off another dynamite win. Everybody's crowning them as the best team in the NFL now. They are the best odds of making and winning the Super Bowl. They beat the amazing Raiders. Everybody thought, such a great win. They beat the Raiders. The Raiders are terrible. They beat them 31-0 though, but that's what you're supposed to do. It's crappy teams like that. They're on a 2-game winning streak. They beat the Lions and they beat the Raiders, both in Kansas City. They're rolling at them. Ray Rice looks amazing. His first game back, I believe he had 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, something like that. 2 touchdowns for sure. It's helping the whole team out in general, because it's opening everything else for Kelsey, for what the hell's the fast guy's name? Worthy.
Worthy, yeah.
Yeah, Worthy. So it's opening the whole thing up for them. Hey, and that game, by the way, with the Raiders, Mahomes wasn't the leading running back. Hooray! He was finally Isaiah Pacheco, he had 57 yards rushing. Good for him. Probably he'd be lucky to get that again. So there's in that game, he spread the ball around. It wasn't just Rashid Rice. Everybody had a chance to had a was receiving the ball from Mahomes. I want to point out though, Mahomes they did lose their rookie defensive tackle who plays a lot for the year. He's out for the Kansas City Chiefs. And this defense is looking good. Chris Jones, you want to see, like I said, you want to see him get after the quarterback more. He only has 1 sack for the season. McDuffie's still good back there in the back 7. Mahomes is being protected. He's only been sacked 11 times. And they're getting after the quarterback too. They've sacked the quarterback 15 times, and they have about 7 turnovers. This team's rolling, man, and I think the Commanders might be catching them at the wrong time. The Commanders' defense is just trash. It is, and I think they're going to be exposed by this Chiefs team. Now, the worst thing about them is their rush defense, and the Kansas City Chiefs don't rush well. But I think eventually Mahomes will pick them apart, and they will win and cover this 11.5.
Yeah, I'm with you. The Chiefs, I don't know, had as dominant of a game against the Raiders as maybe I've ever seen. They held the Raiders to 30 offensive snaps, which is the second least offensive snaps in the, I think, history of the NFL. They did whatever they wanted. They messed with them. Like I said, catching the Chiefs at the absolute wrong time right now. So I think they easily cover and keep rolling.
Yeah, and I'm glad. If the Commanders lose, that's just more of a gap between them and the Philadelphia Eagles from winning the NFC East. So with that, we're both taking the Chiefs to cover 11.5 points. Let's get into our best bets. Last week, I went 2-1 of my best bets. Adam killed it with his best bets. He went 3-0. Adam, I'll let you decide. Would you like that I go first or you go first, since you had the better week last week and you had the better best bets?
I can go this week.
All righty, take it away.
Yeah, so I'm going to keep rolling with the scratch blowouts. So I am going to pick against the Tennessee Titans until that loses a best bet. So I'm taking the Colts at the 14.5. And then sticking with maybe the next largest favorite, I want the Chiefs at the 11.5. And finally, I want to take a pretty big upset, and I want to go with the Panthers against the Bills. I like how the Panthers are playing, and I think they're gonna keep it close enough to cover.
Plus the 7.5.
Plus 7.5.
Yeah. Well, we got one game. I'm with you. Like, it's like there's so many big differentials here. So I'm with you with the Chiefs cover 11.5. I mean, it's in Kansas City. Daniels is hurt, and their defense is all beat up. And I think Rice gives them a boost. And they really like it. I'm concerned about that defensive tackle getting hurt because the Commanders still can run the ball, and they will be running to keep Mahomes off the field. But I think eventually they will get ahead, and they will cover this number against the Commanders. And my second one is I like the under in the Texans and 49ers game. The Texans are reeling on offense. Nico Collins and Kirk might be hurt, and their defense is still unbelievable. Okay. And the 49ers are just beat everywhere as well. Okay. They still have McCaffrey. It runs through McCaffrey left and right. That's it. But I think whoever gets the 21st wins this game. 20-17, I can see this game being, but I think they go under 41.5. And I've been trying to stay away from overs and unders, but I just think like the Bears and Ravens games and go over the 48.5 points. I had the over in the Saints and Bears game. They almost had it, didn't happen. But like the Bears defense is very risk oriented. If they don't get their turnovers, you could pass on them. The Ravens, their defense is not good as well. So if I think the Ravens are going to come out game busters in this game, I think they want to prove a point. Lamar Jackson's back. I think they come back, and I think the Bears will try to keep up with them. I think they will. So I like the Bears and Ravens to go over the 48.5 points. And I'm with you with the chalk, man. Like I definitely want the I want to put the Tennessee the Colts game in underneath my on my card too. I just think they and I also want to take Atlanta too, but I think these 3 games are for sure. So hopefully I don't have to wear this Target bag on my head and be in shame because I had a bad last week against the spread. We had a lot of games we liked together in this game for me and Adam, but there is a lot of chalk this week, and there's 6 teams on bye weeks. So Adam, you think this week's gonna be as good as last?
The Packers keep winning. That's all I care about.
All right, guys. Well, I am praying for a good week for myself and hopefully for you guys if you follow my bets or Adam's bets. Adam killed it last week, like I said. But, guys, we love doing this. Like and subscribe, share with your friends, yell it from the rooftops, write your senator. We love doing this. It's fun. It's great. And always bet responsible. Okay. Don't be like Chancey Billups in the NBA. Don't get in with the mafia and or Roser getting these sports gambling. Throw
Unless
a few
you have
bucks.
a sure thing.
Yeah, there you go. Bet responsibly, man. Don't go insane. Stay away from those parlays. If you do, bet a couple bucks on them. That's about it. But like I said, guys, like and subscribe. Week done. We're here. We got it. Those are all our picks for week 8 on our best bets. So thank you guys for watching. And as usual, fly Eagles fly. Forget those cheeseheads, and we will always see you in the next one.